It seems there is money to be made, or at least attention to be found, from starting a I used to be Mormon, Jehovah Witness, whatever, and like, OMG guys, let me tell you how oppressed and suppressed I was, blah blah channel. Their online brand is being a former something, and for some of it, comes off like a marketing gimmick. Also, I'm disappointed watching this because I, as a non-Catholic with no experience in any of this, had always thought that priests were at least somewhat intellectual. This man, Mr. Palmquist, seems rather blah and shallow. Don't priests study the classics and philosophy and ponder the deep questions and all that? Maybe I was way off. I thought they were well educated like the famous Fulton Sheen, able to draw lessons from previous centuries' great thinkers and other traditions to help guide us today. And now this guy is living in Mexico doing tattoos and taking lame wannabe artsy selfies. Seems like a waste. In the future, he'll probably regret not having children. Becoming a broken branch in the family tree is letting down your ancestors. He's probably 40-ish or nearing it. And he is still so obsessed and has already apparently sworn off having children, which is probably the most important and fulfilling thing anyone can do, whether they're religious or not. Not the brightest bulb on the tree, sadly. SSRIs in his future. Hi, welcome back to my channel. It has been a while, I think over a month since I posted a video like this. I was doing lives for a while and then my life just got a little crazy and priorities. Because unlike this person realizes you don't make money on YouTube unless you have a ton of followers, and I'm not even there close to being there yet, which is fine because that's not the purpose of the channel. Why do I bring up this comment? Is it in order to blast this person on my channel and give my side so that all of my followers can tell me, yes, Francis, you are so strong. Don't listen to these idiots. And when they tell you all these horrible things about yourself, you are a brave person and we love you. We support you. We will die. Okay, maybe not die for you, but no. It's because many people who do give comments like that on their channels or talk about how they have been the victim in these horrific ways, you know, through comments or someone giving them a bad look when they're walking down the street, you know, all of these horrible, traumatic events, they present them to their followers, the people that are supposedly their allies, in order to feel good, in order to make themselves feel like they exist, that they are being seen, because nowadays that is the only way to feel like you are a legitimate person.
Today I was misgendered at a Texas hospital when I came in with symptoms trying to get treated. I came into the hospital, the lady instantly said, "Sit down, sir." I corrected her and told her that I was a female. And when proceeded to sit down respectfully, about 30-40 minutes passed, I went up to her and asked her if someone was going to take my information because I felt faint and I was not able to drive to another hospital. She then said, "Young man, I already told you to sit down, someone will be with me shortly."
So today, I was having like a really good day, and then I was at work and a man was very homophobic toward me because my girlfriend came and brought me coffee and then left, and he told me that I was a harlot.
And I just feel like it needs to be known that it doesn't matter if you're gay, straight, black, white. Like, if you come into a hospital and you come in there for treatment, that you deserve to be seen.
And the reason I'm not married is because I'm with a girl and that I'm disgusting. And all I have to say is, not today.
And if you can't see people based on their gender, their sexual orientation, or their race, then you shouldn't be working in this field.
Do they treat you different for being part of the LGBT community in the military? The answer is no. However, my experience was through the Air Force, so I don't know how the other branches will work. what I do want to talk about, and if you're thinking about joining the military, and I know this is a really big thing, the military is full of racist people.
Because today, I'm wearing shoes that are gonna make my day good, and this man thinks his dusty, crusty opinions are gonna change my good shoe day.
Very racist people. So if you're a brown person, if you're a minority, any minority, you will encounter a lot of times a lot of discrimination.
Like, I'm sorry, you're gonna ruin my day when I'm wearing these bad boys? I don't think so. Homophobia can't stand up to these kicks.
Artsy selfie alert. There are a number of influencers, politicians, online personalities that have presented in the past few months this whole so-called "don't say gay" bill, talking about how the gay people in Florida are not going to be seen. They're going to be erased from existence because you can't even say the word. Oh my gosh, I can't say it either. So it's obvious by their commentaries and their criticisms of the bill that they have no idea what's actually in the bill. They have not read it, and I can't believe that people are forgetting that all of this is like people are having a war on top of the lives of children and their own well-being. There are TikToks, of course, right? I mean, that's how we get our information now, TikToks and Instagram Reels. So there are TikToks about these gay teachers in Florida that are crying because they're not going to be able to talk to their students about their partner, their same-sex partner, and they're not going to be able to feel like they can be themselves in class. So there's a lot of people that have already made commentaries about the "don't say gay" bill, so I'm not going to go into it here. But when did your own personal life or sexuality become a part of being a teacher? I remember very clearly 3rd grade, Miss Spain. She was an awesome teacher, kind of cold, distant, but she had this like cool way about her, and we all looked up to her and admired her. But I don't think we ever got her first name, and we also didn't know if she was dating anyone. I know we talked about it, amongst the students and everything, but no, didn't know. She might have been lesbian. We didn't know at all. But when did it become so important for an adult gay teacher to have to be accepted by their students, by their children, 1st through 3rd grade? When did that become a thing? Speaking on the side of the students who may be having feelings of same-sex attraction, because I am gay and I did experience same-sex attractions, even though it wasn't sexual yet because I hadn't reached puberty yet. But there was definitely an attraction that I felt probably around 8 or 9 years old. And I think that at that age, maybe some things can be presented to the students in a very non-sexual way, objective way, that is appropriate to their age. And guess what? That's what the "don't say gay" bill is saying. And I do just want to mention quickly before we continue on with the subject of this video specifically, you know how we talk about how traumatic it is for children who have some sort of SA in their past, how it affects them profoundly for the rest of their life, because biologically, mentally, emotionally, they're not ready for any sort of sexual interaction or anything like that. They're just not ready. But then we think that it's okay to expose them to all of these subjects at that same age, but it's okay when it's from a teacher. When are we gonna just let children enjoy the innocence, the carefreeness of childhood instead of imposing upon them these very adult, mature themes that they're not ready for. But let's get back to the idea of erasing. To take me from the picture so much that it's almost as if I never existed.
Martha, would you go bake a cake or something, or go wash the dishes, but leave us alone, we've got problems.
So let's think about that idea of erasure. It seems to be a metaphor because, we can't just physically take an eraser and erase somebody so that they didn't exist. So it must be an imagery. Is it talking about killing them? Is that what we're talking about, like murdering people when we say that you you erase me because you don't agree with me on my opinions? Is that what they're... Well, no, because if that was happening, then we would see that in the news all the time, because we know how they take stories of so-called hate crimes and they promote them as truth. So if there were real things happening, they would obviously promote that, and we're not seeing that. So it must not be that extreme, because especially around the world in certain countries, the LGBTQ, I'm lost already. I don't even know what letter I'm on anymore. Those type of sexual orientation minority people are being murdered in those countries. So here in the West, I don't think we can say that that's happening, but it is happening in the world. So let's not exaggerate when we talk about erasing. So what does erase mean then? So there is this tendency in people, and we see that all over the place in history. We want to be a part of a community, to feel like we belong. And normally for this community to form, there has to be something that unites everyone, something that draws people in, some purpose to the community's existence. And in that, people kind of strip themselves in a certain way of maybe other directions, other communities that they could be a part of, other things that they could dedicate their life to in order to conform. In that choice, you are kind of assuming in yourself the traits that can be found in that community. Like if you want to play, for example, tug of war, and you're deciding who's on the particular team, and everyone decides, yeah, we want to be on this team, and our purpose, you could be there having lunch, the picnic, sitting and watching, you could be running and playing soccer, but no, you've decided to go into this game and forget about yourself and think about the purpose of that group, which is to win. And then you have somebody on there who decides to pull in a different direction that doesn't help the team, and that person would just be booted out, maybe literally. Especially if we're talking about boys. But you have to assume the status as a member of the community, and it happens naturally. We all do it without even thinking. And I think in the past, this type of movement was a lot more natural, this almost selfless giving of yourself to a community. And it went to such an extreme that people would give themselves to a job at a factory, and they are treated just like a machine where their energy and time is just sucked away without any sort of looking at their individuality. And when they fall over and die, they are drug out and replaced with some other nameless person that they're going to do the same thing to. But I think that type of selflessness was a lot more natural, especially in the United States. I'm thinking of my parents, my grandparents, looking at them going off to war being selfless, you know, but to an extreme. It's not surprising that, you know, this is another thing. I don't think people have a lot of context within history, but the pendulum that swings to one extreme will come back and swing in the other way. It's not going to stop in some moderate position. No, it has to go all the way over to the other side for it then to come back and then. But it's clear that to erase the individual and only look at the whole is very detrimental to individuals. But I really don't think that this whole persecution of the LGB plus community that we find in the West, especially in the United States, is anywhere close to that. Now people emphasize to such an extreme their own individuality and fall into this mental trap. Instead of being a part of a larger community and giving yourself to a larger cause, what happens is very interesting. They make themselves the sole proprietor of their own community.
You just sometimes come across like me, myself, and I.
And they expect everyone else to conform to their own community, themselves, their own perception, their own opinions. They think the world revolves around them in their minds. But not only that, it must literally revolve around them and bow down to them and accept them and make them feel important, or they feel like they slowly slip away into a state of unimportance, to like this black hole, to be erased from the public eye, the attention of others, from ultimately existence. It's like they never needed to exist if people don't accept them 100% in their opinions. Someone on the other side of the country that I will never meet in person who leaves a nasty comment criticizing my own opinions must agree with me. That's how it is. Take a step back and look at how people talk to each other on social media. And of course, this whole social media culture is sinking down into reality where people walk around like this. It's not just the online phenomenon anymore. This is how people act in their real lives. I like you. I accept you only if you accept me. But if you don't accept me, you don't want me to exist. I can't even think how these generations are gonna... I know that once the pendulum swings to one extreme, it's gonna come back. There's gonna be people that wake up and realize how bogus this way of thinking is and how unhealthy it is, how unsettling, how unstable it is. I know it's going to come back, so I'm not worried. I'm not like, oh, it's the end of the world. Jesus is coming. I'm not like that. But these poor people that are growing up nowadays with such a coddled mind that they expect people to always support them. I mean, imagine if people were taught that it's enough to accept yourself, that you don't need anyone else to accept you for who you are. Imagine that. And I'm here to tell you that you aren't special. People don't care about what music you like, what clothes you wear, what your gender is, who you like to sleep with, your political affiliations. Nobody cares about you. And how liberating is that? I find it liberating. Not that I consider myself to be a man against the world. I am the only one holding the truth, and I will stomp on everyone around me because I'm such a narcissist. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's enough. Enough. Not that it's great. No, just that it's enough to be stable, to have peace inside. I look around at my life and I can say, oh, I have a roof on my head. I have a job, with a very tiny income. I have a loving, supportive boyfriend. I have very small number, but very good friends. And I have food, I have clothes. How much do I actually need? If I was alone, that wouldn't be the best situation. That wouldn't be the ideal situation. We're social beings. It's good for us to live in a society, but it's enough that I think that I'm okay, that I have peace inside. All of the rest is like icing on the cake. If my mental, emotional, existential well-being depended on other people's opinions of me, and if they accepted my opinions and my decisions in life, oh boy, imagine the roller coaster of a life that would cause. Ups, down, up, down, depending on what comment you read first, how someone looks at you at this, that's just setting someone up for a complete mental breakdown. The biggest element that gives me peace is just living in reality. And it seems like such a duh type of thing, oh yeah, live in reality. But people do not live in reality. They live in their own imagination, their own shallow perception of what's really going on around them. The fact that people think that everyone else has to agree with their lifestyle choices in order for them to feel like they're validated in them, that is not living in reality. My family doesn't agree with my decisions in life. Not all of them, especially not the recent ones. I have friends that have just taken off because I left religion and came out as gay or whatever is in their head, whatever they thought that I did, whatever their expectation was of what I should do. But I don't care. I don't care, because I know that where I am in life is good for me. But do I expect them to change their opinions because of what I think? No! No one cares about you. Think of how people are united nowadays in communities. And this will be the last thing that I say before I close off this video, because I could say a ton and I don't think it's good for my mental health. But people unite themselves into groups depending on if you accept me. So take this for example. I'm a gay man, right? And let's imagine that the person over here is gay as well. I don't know this person. I don't care about this person, honestly. We're both gay. Okay, woohoo. But what happens is you're gay, I'm gay. That means we're united in this fight for acceptance. So that's how we come together, even though in the real world we would never be seen together because we don't really like each other. But that's not the thing. It's we're both fighting for our existence and for people to stop erasing us. And then you, as a heterosexual person, can be a part of this if you accept me, if you're an ally. It's all about me. It's all about me. The world revolves around me. That's what it's like nowadays. I'm united, but only if it serves me. If the community serves my ideas, my opinions. And there is an element to that, but it's all about balance. Balance. There's no balance. So get outside, breathe in the fresh free air and be happy that someone's not knocking on your door and they're going to send you to jail and possibly put you on death row because you're gay. Imagine living in a country like that. Be happy that you're just getting oh, I don't agree with you. That's not... Oh. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff. I really appreciate it, and I hope to start making more videos again. So leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about the video, and if you have any other suggestions for future videos, I'm always listening. But yeah, thank you. And I hope everyone has a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time. And if you leave any hateful comments, I'm gonna go onto your comment, delete it, and then erase you from my page.